We choose success. Play on, play.
Wait, no miss.
Liberian people, we choose success. Liberian people, we choose success. Wherever you play, wherever you go, the Liberian people, we choose victory, victory, victory. Victory looks like a first victory. 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 Cayenne pepper, 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 cayenne pepper.
All right. Welcome to all our listeners out there. Today is Talk TV Media Network Saturday Sports. It's going to be packed. A lot to talk about, a lot to discuss. Today is sports. As you can see, I'm playing the Lone Star. Liberia National Lone Star is playing as we speak to you right now in Morocco. The team is taking on the Eagles of Nigeria in qualification of the World Cup 2022 in Qatar. We'll be discussing now, and I got my guest, my contributor in the store, in a house right there, Tim Pernell, who's going to be talking to us about football, man. Tim, welcome, buddy.
Hey, thank you for having me on. This is a treat. I'll try my best with football. Whatever questions you got, I'll give you my best answer to. So
American football.
Soccer's been interesting too.
What we call football in Africa is soccer. Yeah. But you guys here in the United States call it football. I don't know how you call it football when you're playing almost 90% with your hand.
Yeah, I guess it's just the way that the ball is shaped. I think that's just the way that the culture was brought up, especially in America, because like when you think like football, like you said, it's the rest of the world, it's with your actual foot, but
Right.
here we call it soccer, I guess, to differentiate between football, which is like
Big difference.
throwing and hitting.
Yeah, I just feel like America just have their own way of doing things, because the real
Yeah,
football is soccer,
yeah,
So hey,
yeah,
however you think or however one takes it, that's how it is. But when you go to Europe, Africa, and the rest of the
hmm
world,
yeah,
it's
in Europe
soccer.
for
Soccer.
sure. Yeah,
That's the biggest sports in the world. And
yep.
today, just for your info, because you didn't do this, there is a qualification of
hmm
African sports all around the world going on for World Cup 2022,
Yep.
and that will be played in Qatar
hmm
and Liberia today, even though it's not a much significant, important game, but Liberia is playing the Eagles of Nigeria today. As we speak, the game is actually going on. And I'm in touch with one of our guys down there who's going to be feeding us with information. For those of you out listening, the audience out there, today is Sport Talk. We are here for 3 or 4 solid 1 hour. We're going to talk sports, sports, sports. And if you need to contribute a call in, give your piece, we'd love to hear from you. You know, after that, we're going to also be talking about football here in America, because I am more interested, literally, team in when it comes to football here, NFL.
Yeah.
The
College is going on too right now as you speak. So
Right. I know I'm gonna be a little bit biased on this one, because I'm
yeah,
a Dallas Cowboy fan. I'm a Cowboy fan. So I probably want to discuss their zone, you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
Uh
We can.
yeah, in the NFL. So
hmm
you might want to start looking at that point where they are. As a
Yeah,
matter of fact, um probably might want to get there a little bit before I bring all our listeners all the information when it comes to. Are you getting me? Do you have a speaker in the back?
uh, yeah. No, I can hear you. I can hear you. Yeah, I can start there with football if you want me to go through a couple of things that have been interesting from what I've seen so far in
Right,
the season.
right.
Uh,
But hold on. Where
yeah,
I want you to start is the NFC East, right?
yeah. We can. Yeah, that's funny you say that. I was actually going to start there.
Yeah, the NFC East, where we have the Cowboys, the Eagles, the Giants, and Washington.
Yeah. So on my podcast, I did a quarterly review about each of the divisions in football, or each of the conferences in each of the divisions in the NFL.
Right.
And I had said on there that the Cowboys pretty much have it sewn up, although it is theirs to lose, because from the last 6 to 7 years, the Cowboys maybe have won the division maybe once, twice,
Mm-hmm.
and those other division winners have been the Eagles, who went on and won the Super Bowl, and then last year was the Washington football team, who hosted a playoff round, a playoff game against the Buccaneers, who went on to win the Super Bowl. But as far as the NFC East goes, I think the Cowboys are in prime position. Honestly, they're 6-2.
Yeah, I
I
mean they have
think they had
about 6 wins.
yeah,
Six and
6 wins,
two.
2 losses. They
Right.
lost. They lost at the beginning of the season against the Buccaneers opening night. They just lost last week against the Cowboys, but in that span between those 2 losses, they've won 6 games. They've been really good overall. Surprisingly, the defense has been very, very good.
Good.
Um, I
That's
think
that's what
I
we
think
need.
they missed out on a key signing, not getting Odell Beckham, just
Mhm.
because I think that he would have brought another dynamic to that offense for Dak and for Elliott and what's his face. Um, oh my gosh, he's Amari Cooper. That's his name, Amari Cooper at the moment.
Right.
And that offense would have just ran away with the NFC East. I think that they will host. They'll host a wild card game for sure, but they will not host. They won't have winning home field advantage there. I just don't see it
Hold
with
on.
Arizona.
Do you have a speaker? I keep hearing the echo coming back to me a little bit. Um, so you may want to tone it down just a little bit.
Can you
Uh,
hear me now?
yeah, I'm hearing you, but I keep hearing that tone vibration going back from
Can,
the end. Yeah, but go
Uh,
go ahead. Even though I feel like the Cowboys are the one that probably might carry the cup this year.
yeah, the Cowboys are going to win the East. I don't think you have anything to worry about. They're going to win the East. They'll
Right.
host a first round playoff game. Uh, they'll be. They will for sure be a contender in for the NFC Championship.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they could beat Arizona and they could beat LA, but I don't see them being Tampa Bay, especially if it's in Tampa again. Uh, with that being said, they will be on the road in the playoffs to get to the Super Bowl if they want to win.
Wow.
So that's just how I feel about it for Dallas so far. I mean, this is actually the team that everyone's been waiting to see for the last 10 years as far as being dominant on both sides of the ball and special teams. I think
Mhm.
Mike McCarthy's done a really good job of, especially it being his second year, doing a good job of implementing the offense and letting Dak make the correct reads. Obviously, the contract that Dak signed is being proven right now.
Right.
He's back off of that injury and is doing a very good job. Even though I
Yeah,
think
but look at it, Dot. When he was down, right?
yeah,
Cooper was doing extremely well.
he
Because
was, he was.
especially the Cooper kind of game team,
Mm-hmm.
and they won that other match. Then come in the Dot, and then we lost last week.
Yeah,
I'm like, why
and
they couldn't just keep that still on the bench and let Cooper just because he had a momentum rolling with him.
well, the thing is that I mean, it's any given Sunday in football. Anyone's going to lose at any time. Anyone's
Yeah, but
going
I
to.
really felt that if that was if Cooper was going to play, he had the momentum, he had the energy with the
He did.
guys from the
He
previous game, and I really think the Cowboys were going to take that thing out because the boy want to shine, man. Because Doug
he
has
does.
been there,
He
he's been
does.
there, you
He
know.
does. But I also think too that in the NFL, you want your best player at every position, and especially at quarterback, you want Dak over your backup. Now, if Dak is out for the season, then your backup gets hot, then yes, by all means, don't switch it up. But if you also look at it too, from a couple of years ago when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, Nick Foles was a backup, and he got
Right.
hot at the right time and led them to the Super Bowl. And on top of that, too, he's a backup that beat Tom Brady, who everyone considers is the best of all time. But that's a rare occasion. In
Right.
this instance for the Cowboys this year, they they need everyone at full strength. They need Dak at full strength if they want to win. So even though they did lose to Denver, Denver has a good defense overall. A lot of people don't realize
Yeah, they
don't
do. They
really
do
think
have a
about
very
that.
good defense
Nick
from what I saw.
Fangio does a really good job of putting them in that 4-3 scheme and making sure that the linebackers get out on the edge to cover the flats and to cover in the zone on the back end. Now,
Man,
a lot of people don't.
bro, you're doing two jobs over there, man. You're babysitting,
I know,
and here
yeah,
you are feeding the public with more
yeah,
information stuff in sports.
yeah.
Oh my God, you're an
I got
awesome
my little
dad
ones
back
in
there.
here. I
Yeah,
got my little ones in here.
you you're an
They'll be in the
awesome
back.
dad. Guys, our listening audience, this is Talk TV Media Network Sports Saturday. We're bringing you full sports. We're talking about the Cowboys and NFL, and then we will be going to Africa, talking about a current game that's going on between
Hmm.
the Eagles of Nigeria and the Liberia National Lone Star. Lone Star is down right now, 1-0. Even previously, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, they lost to uh, Nigeria 2-0. But they're playing pretty well. Even though they're already out of the competition, they're not gonna go to the World Cup. But we want to hear from Liberians, especially sport enthusiasts. When it comes to Liberia, what is the government doing, especially the George Weah led government? Weah became famous, became who he is today because of sports, right? In that country, because he's a soccer, he's one of those that consider a soccer legend. Soccer is the one that got him to the limelight of football to where he is today, George Weah, the current president of Liberia. But what is we are doing when it comes to soccer in Liberia? Because previously, years back, the man who was there, Judge Samuel Doe, didn't know about football, but he's the one who developed football. He's the one who brought George Weah, Salim Sadiba, Joe Nangbe, all those guys, to the limelight and brought Liberia to the national scene. Built the best of stadium in the country, and because sports is a unifying agent. It brought the country together. But this guy who really, really benefited from sports, he now has the opportunity to even make sure that every county in Liberia has a soccer field, a modern soccer field. But forget about that. But what about the very stadium that we have in the country? The only best stadium. They could not even qualify or pass them to be able to be up to standard to play international football, which is a disgrace to the country. What is we are doing? What is this government doing when it comes to soccer, to comes to sports in Liberia? So that's where we want to hear from Liberians. You can call us. You can put in your Liberian say 1212, your little contributions and stuff. We'd love to hear from you. But Tim, I'm gonna take you back to football here in the US, especially NFL.
Yeah.
When you're looking at, we're talking about the NFC, we talk about the NFC East. Talk about the NFC West. The
NFC
Cardinals, the
West.
Rams, the Seahawks, and the 49ers.
Okay, so I'll be honest. I gave them a grade at the beginning of the season being the toughest division. I gave them a solid A minus, that being the best grade that I gave out of all the divisions, solely for the fact. Actually, I gave them A minus in the AFC West, A minus, solely for the fact that all four teams will beat up on each other at some point, and that's going to be the determining factor of who wins the division. But it doesn't look like that in this case. In the NFC West,
that's a tough zone right there.
It is.
The Cardinals, the Rams, the Seahawks, and the 49ers. That's a top zone right there.
And there are some issues with the 49ers and the Seahawks. If you think about it, the 49ers are still trying to figure out if they want Garoppolo to be their quarterback or if they're going to turn the keys over to Lance. And then the Seahawks just got word that Russell Wilson's going to be back. So, and he's been gone with injury from that broken finger. And Geno Smith has been the quarterback for the last few weeks. He's a former Jets quarterback. And he's done a really good job, but it hasn't really translated to the wins that they needed. They've lost to Pittsburgh. They've lost to the Raiders, I believe, in the last couple of weeks. So, but if you look now, we'll look at the top of the division, that being the Cardinals and the Rams. The Cardinals have been dominant all season. They have the best record. They only have one loss.
Yeah, they have 8-1. 8 wins and 1 loss.
Yeah, 8 wins, 1 loss.
But right close to them is the Rams,
Yeah, and they're separated by a game, right? And if you also look at this too, when it comes to playoff implications, the number 1 seed only gets the bye in the first round. So if you're the 2 seed, you're hosting. So 2 through 7, with that new format that they have, you're not getting a bye at all. So that it's really important. And there have been talks that they may add another playoff round, so that way 1 and 2 can go back to having the first rounds of the season or the first bye. I will say this: Arizona and Los Angeles, I believe, have one more game to play. I think it's in Los Angeles, and it's going to be a dogfight. That's going to determine who wins, who's hosting, and who's on the road in the first round.
Right.
So it's going to be a crazy crazy second half of the season. Third quarter of the season's coming up. Weeks 10 through 14, 10 through 13. We have a 17 game schedule this year, so that extra game is really going to make a difference between a team being 8-9 and 9-8.
Okay.
So there won't be any 500 teams anymore.
Oh wow.
So the NFC West though is by far the best division. I believe that either the Rams or The Cardinals will represent that division in the NFC Championship. It's really nice to see a conference in or a division in football actually have a good two-headed spear race for the division.
Right.
If you look at some of the other divisions in football itself, it's kind of lopsided. Like one team will have, a hold of the division, and then the rest of the teams kind of peter out. But the NFC West in this case is a rare exception.
Yeah, let's finish that entire NFC area there where we have zone 3 team comprising of the Packers, the Vikings, the Bears, and the Lions. Right?
Yes, the NFC North. The NFC North is disappointing this year. Very disappointing. I say that from a standpoint of the Minnesota Vikings and the Bears kind of had a slow start, and it's kind of shot them in the foot. The Lions have a new head coach. They have a new quarterback in that trade with the Rams, but they've lost a few games that they should have won. They lost on a long field goal to the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
They've lost a few nail biters, and it's not a result. The record isn't a result that they're terrible. It's just that the ball didn't bounce their way, and that happens a lot in the NFL. But let's talk about Green Bay. Green Bay has been good, right? So they lose the first week to New Orleans, 38-3, and everyone starts questioning.
They have 7 wins, 2 losses.
Yeah, 7 wins, 2 losses, and everyone questions if Aaron Rodgers wants to be there or not. And then we see them roll off this crazy, insane winning streak. They beat the Cardinals, and what now becomes the question, or what happens last week, is that they play the Chiefs, and he's in COVID protocol for saying that he was immunized, but not saying that he actually received the shot for COVID-19. So he's out, and I believe he's out again this week.
What did he say with regards to that? Did he?
He had said earlier in the summer that he had been immunized, that he was immune to COVID, but that never really clarified that if he received the shot or not, and so he misled a lot of people, and it came back to bite him because he was in COVID protocol the last week. And that was a marquee matchup against the Chiefs. But I don't believe that he's back this week. He might be. I haven't read up and checked, but I do know that Jordan Love probably will start. And we saw a glimpse of him last week, and he was okay. He's new to the offense, and we kind of also got that glimpse of what the Packers are going to be post Aaron Rodgers. So they kind of got that reality check that you need Aaron Rodgers to win, and Aaron Rodgers needs offensive weapons around him to win. He needs more than just Devontae Adams, who turned into this star wideout in the league. But I mean, at the end of the day, the Packers will win, but there's still questions in the offseason. I don't know how far they're going to go. The defense looks better than it has in previous years.
Yeah. Let's leave that NFC. At least we will probably go to NFC South. But before then, I want to make sure I update our people.
Yeah, go ahead.
We have one of our guys. Yeah, while you take care of business over there in the meantime.
Yeah.
Dwar G just told us, the Liberia is still down. I see 0-2 and 2-1 car. I'm not quite sure, but the one I'm looking at is Liberia was down by 1-0 to Nigeria. The Eagles of Nigeria in qualification of the World Cup 2022. For those of you listening, we'd love to hear from you. We're going to play and cheer the boys up. You see me, I'm in my red, even though they are down, but I'm cheering the boys up. That's what we call patriotism. So I'm going to cheer the boys up as we wait for you to call in, all our callers. If you want to call in and be a part of what's going on here in the sports world, We'd love to hear from you. Your contributions matters a lot, you know, to us and to the general public. We're just here having fun discussing football, American football, and soccer, which I think is the best. Soccer. Until then, we'll be right back. Enjoy. Boys are playing hard. It's not easy, man. Lack of support, not giving them the best turf. Can you imagine playing a home game on the foreign soil, which is shameful, disgraceful to a nation. How can you play a home game on the foreign soil? This is what Liberian soccer team has been going through. You know, the Samuel Kanyando Sport Complex cannot live up to international standards. What is your input? What do you have to say with regards to that? The man who benefited when it comes to sports in the nation of Liberia, President George Manewia, is sitting there. Because if I benefited from something like this, I would make sure that thing becomes the best of the best, especially where I have the power now to say and things are done. But what's your input? What's your take? To all our listeners out there, the Liberian soccer team, what is the problem of the Liberian soccer team not being able to qualify for 2022 World Cup in Qatar? Let us know. Drop a comment. Call in on the number on the screen. The number is 539-525-1552. You can call in and be a part of the show. Until then, we're talking football, NFL, too, here in the U.S. All the divisions that are doing so well, extremely well this year. When it comes to football, all their standings. We talked about the NFC East. We talked about the NFC West. We talked about the NFC North. Now we're going to talk about the NFC South. Let us know. If you're a football fan here in the U.S., join us. Join the conversation. We'd love to hear from you. All right. Seems like you're a little bit situated over there with your boys, so I better just use that time.
Yeah. I got everyone's good to go. My wife's getting ready to go have girls' day, so I'm watching the kids, getting them all situated.
so let's Tim. Tim is the guest contributor on the show. Welcome again, Tim. I like us to finish up this NFC zone area where we have the Buccaneers, especially the NFC South, the Buccaneers, the Saints, the Falcons, and the Panthers.
Yeah.
What's your take?
So let's start with this. The Buccaneers and the Saints will make the playoffs. They're a game apart in that division for the division lead of South. Atlanta could be a spoiler down the line of teams within the conference,
right,
that are in that playoff push. But the the MO of this division is Tom Brady, right? Tom Brady's been dominant for the last 20 plus years, especially in the AFC
Man,
East.
that is something when it comes to Tom Brady, man, with what
Yeah.
he's been doing all these
Yeah,
years.
his longevity has
Dominant,
been
man.
yeah, his longevity has been annoying for me personally because I'm a Jets fan. He played for the Patriots for all those years, and the Jets always lost to the Patriots. He always we were pretty much just like a easy game for him. We were a high school team for him. But
Wow.
yeah, the Buccaneers do have some injuries though. Gronk's down. Gronk hasn't played much since the early part of the season since his ribs been injured. Antonio Brown won't be playing tomorrow. Chris Godwin is game time decision, but he should be good to go, I think. But still, Brady, they just plug in other players that Brady just utilizes very well in that offense. Bruce Arians does a really good job.
He is such a tactician though when it comes
Yeah,
to
he is.
football,
He is. Yeah,
this
he's
guy knows every game, man, how to handle it and just pull up a win.
And you know what's surprising about Brady is that he doesn't have that great of an arm, if you really think about it.
I know.
And he's very accurate though, right? And the older that he has gotten, he's used that quick release to get the ball out within 2.5 seconds to get people into the routes, and they'll get 5-6 yards on first, second down, and they'll have manageable third and fourth downs and hand the ball off to Leonard Fournette easily. Right. So, but Brady's had some trouble with the Saints. The Saints have been the only team. Sean Payne's done a really good job of containing Brady and beating Brady at his own game when he had Drew Brees, especially last year. And then this year with Jameis Winston, they beat them pretty well, even though Jameis is probably done for the year. But otherwise than that, I really don't see the Panthers really making that big of a surge coming back in the second half of the season. I know they did sign Cam Newton earlier this week, but that team has a lot of questions as far as ownership and if they're trying to win or if they're trying to bring fans into the seats just because Cam is back. So, wow. But yeah, that's all I really have on the NFC South. Atlanta, I don't know. Matt Ryan's.
Let's move on to the AFC, right?
Yeah, AFC, yeah.
Yeah, AFC East, where we have the Bills, the Patriots, the Dolphins, and the Jets.
All right, I'm going to rule this already. Jets are done for the year.
Yeah,
Jets are done for the year, so we're not going to talk anything about the Jets. The Dolphins
done for the year.
I'll leave the Dolphins last.
Yeah, they got like two wins and 6 losses, man.
Yeah. The Jets have been really bad. I mean, I'm happy that we have 2 wins, but I don't believe in our quarterback. I don't believe in Zach Wilson. I feel like it was all hype. He's injured right now. And then we had our backup quarterback, Mike White, throw for 400 yards for the first time for a Jets quarterback in over 30 years. Right. So that's really, really that's just saying something about the organization as a whole. So,
wow.
The Patriots, the Bills will. I mean, the Bills are still good. Josh Allen is still doing a really, really good job over there. I know that they lost a tough one last week to the Jaguars of all teams, a 9-6 game, and he struggled a little bit. But I think he'll bounce back this week. They play the Jets tomorrow, so that's an easy win for them. But let's talk about the Patriots real quick. So we know. Yeah. So we already spoke about how Brady was dominant to the over the 20 years in the AFC East, and who his coach was in Bill Belichick. But let's just I don't know if you've seen Mac Jones play Alabama for the Patriots. The new he is the heir apparent now to Brady. But he's really progressed very well over the season. His
Really?
reads have been better. He's thrown the ball a lot quicker. I mean, he already had a quick release coming out of Alabama, but he's really translated very well into Bill Belichick's system.
Right.
And now the question becomes in the offseason, what pieces are they going to get him out of Alabama uh, to put in that offense around him?
Wow.
So so the AFC East is going to be interesting. But I'll speak on the Dolphins real quick. They beat the Ravens Thursday, 22-10, which is
So that
very weird.
gives them 3 wins, right?
Yeah, it gives them 3 wins, 7 losses.
But they have like 7 losses, man.
Yeah, they do. But you also have to realize this too, that their young quarterback Tua Tagovailoa out of Alabama, who is also Alabama, he's in the second year of the offense, but he's been injured part of the year, and there's reasons why this team has not been good. The offensive line has been really, really bad for the Dolphins. If you look at their games that they've played in, that they played close and had to come back in, the offensive line has not really played to a decent NFL standard until it's crunch time, and that's not good for any team, right?
Wow.
And so another issue with the Dolphins is that they have a two-headed offensive coordinator system where a running backs coach and a quarterbacks coach are both calling plays. There's not one singular
individual coach.
There's not one.
That in itself brings a lot of confusion right there.
Yeah, it does. It brings a lot of confusion, and then there's not a lot of continuity in the offense. So that's always an issue. The defense has been but really the offense is what's been the problem. So
what about the AFC West?
You said the AFC West?
Yeah. Well,
so
we have the Chargers, and the Chargers, the Raiders, the Chiefs, and the Broncos. And that seems like a very competitive zone because they all have like 5 wins.
Yeah, it's very, very competitive, which in years past it really hasn't been, especially the last 4 or 5 years. The Chiefs with Mahomes, and even before Mahomes, Alex Smith had been dominating that division. Now you have to remember too, Denver did win a Super Bowl with Peyton in that division. The Raiders have been having issues on and off always, it seems like, for the past few years. But this year especially, the AFC West is equivalent to is what I thought the NFC West is going to be. It's, and like I said, it still is super competitive, but the AFC West, all teams have 5. All teams are separated by 1 game, right? And it's hard to say if all those teams get in, because when it gets to crunch time later on in the year, all scenarios played out. It depends on who's winning what and how they win. But Denver. We've already spoken on Denver. The Chargers still are really good. Justin Herbert's a really good quarterback. Kansas City has struggled this year. I know for a fact because everyone in my family, besides myself, are Chiefs fans. And I'll say in my immediate family, my wife's.
Did you say you're a Chiefs fan?
Yeah, my father-in-law's a Chiefs fan. My wife's a Chiefs fan.
How come you got a hat on saying New York Giants?
No, this is Yankees hat. This is baseball.
Okay.
Baseball right here. So
okay.
So
you're a Jet guy, right?
Excuse me?
You're Jets.
Yeah, Jets. I like the Giants too, but I like the Jets first.
Y'all lost, man. Y'all out of the season.
I know. Yeah, we're that. If we can get to the playoffs, I am happy.
I need to recruit you so you can be a Cowboy, man.
Oh no, I can't. Everyone that I work with, a lot of people that I'm friends with, some family members, especially on my wife's side, are Cowboys fans. It's like,
see, you need to be a Cowboy. Look at our sport. Look at our sport enthusiast right there. Look at our sport fan.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, she loves to come in. So, but
let's talk about the AFC North. Actually, before we talk about the AFC North, pretty quick. Before we do those, I kind of want to cheer the boys up. The Lone Star national team just lost to the Nigerian national team, the Eagles of Nigeria. The results of the game is 2-0. Um, for those of you, our listening audience out there, so we just want to let you guys know that if you want to call in and give your input, call the number on the screen. The number is 539-525-1552. We'd love to hear from you. What is the Liberian government doing? What led to Liberia's defeat in all these games, not being able to qualify? Because environment matters. Because if you're playing home, you have your home spectators, that home advantage, the crowd would cheer you up, that momentum alone. But Liberia couldn't play home due to poor facilities. The stadium is not up to international standards. And the last time I actually saw them working on a pitch on the stadium trying to repair it was literally using push lawnmowers, which is very disgraceful because a business guy like me, I probably will get the best equipments and turf machines, zero turns on that turf to make sure everything is perfectly cut and more. But that's not the case. We saw these guys manually planting grass, manually working, which is disgraceful for the nation's one and only international stadium. What is George Weah? Because the country invested in this man who is the current president of Liberia, George Weah. And not to be political, because we are an independent network, but we speak the fights, we speak the truth when we see it. What is this president doing to soar back, to give back when it comes to soccer and sports in Liberia? When the one and only nation number one sports stadium cannot meet up with international standards. We'd love to hear from you, our partners out there, our listening audience. We'd love to hear from you all. But before that, I would cheer the boys up, at least so they don't have to go home with such a defeat. We'll cheer them up a little bit, give them a little bit of a bravo for at least trying, going out there to go play on foreign soil, which is not too good. But we'll cheer the boys up. For you, our listeners out there, you can call in the number on the screen. Give in. Liberia just lost to Nigeria 2-0. But they are wonderful players. These boys have a lot of future, a lot of prospects. We cannot give up on Mama Liberia. We cannot give up because brighter days are ahead. Liberia must become or rise up again, will rise up to be that beacon of hope in the community of nations. In every area, sports, business, education, diplomacy, that mother country must rise up. And this is where we need your input. Liberians and friends of Liberia all over. Because Liberia has a very unique history with that of the US, with that of the United States. And so there's no way we can just cut that relationship. All right, enjoy and cheer the boys up.
Victory looks like a first victory. 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 Cayenne pepper, 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 cayenne pepper.
boys are there. No, football, soccer. The Top TV Media Network. This is what it is of Matthew Barrow and IE. Principally 11. Yeah. It's a sad day for the Liberia National Team, but we're still here to cheer the boys up. They just lost their last match to Nigeria 2-0. So they won't make it. They will not be able to make it for the World Cup 2022 in Qatar. For those of you who are listening. But what is the government doing? What has the government done to uplift the Liberian National Team? On the other hand, we are discussing football here in the United States, football in America, not the soccer one, but football, the one we play it. I'm sad enough, I left my football out there in the truck. I was rushing, but let's go through these zones quick. Team, we do have the did we discuss the AFC North? Oh no, that's what we got coming up. The AFC North, the Ravens, the Steelers, the Browns, the Bengals. You know, because I know if we don't get to discuss all these, I don't know how we're gonna be able to handle that. Tim, I think your mic is muted. You
all right, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Perfect.
So I want us to talk about the AFC North, the Ravens, the Steelers, because I know my son is a Steeler fan because my house is divided. You know,
yes,
I mean, I think I have three guys on my side. The other guy is a Seahawks guy. The other guy is a Eagles guy. You know, Philly. The other guy is the Steelers and Seahawks. So and Cowboys. You can see how my house is divided.
Yeah.
You know, so but sometimes when the Cowboys are losing, I shut the TV down because it's my house, it's my TV. That's how we do it. But let's discuss this team, this AFC North.
Yeah. So as you know, far back we go. My family's from Pittsburgh, so I've had to deal with Steelers fans my entire life. And then when I married my wife, two of her uncles are Steelers fans themselves, so I thought I was escaping it, and then no, still there. Wow. They're not as bad as my brothers, but the AFC North is it was a division that had a really slow start. It's turned things around. There's 3 teams with 5 wins. Right. The Ravens lead the division by a game and a half, by a half a game, and it's up for grabs. Baltimore lost to Dolphins Thursday night.
It looks like it is up for grabs because I'm looking at AFC West and AFC North. Yeah, they almost have similar competitive game because
yes,
you know they have 5 wins. Only the Ravens have about 6 wins so far.
Yeah,
and it's up for grabs, just like you said.
It is, and the interesting part about it is that the 3 of the only team to have a bye so far, or the 2 teams that have a bye so far, we're going to week 11. Excuse me. All 4 teams have their byes early in the season, in the second quarter of the season. Weeks 5 through 8, 9, and all 4 teams are dealing with weird injuries. So Baltimore has a plethora of running backs that have been out even before the season started. They're missing their number 1 cornerback in Marcus Peters, and yet this team is on top. They have some great wins. They have great wins against the Chiefs. Another good that's a really standout quality win that they've had. This past Sunday they beat Minnesota in overtime. But then they turn around and they lose on Thursday night, really on 3 days rest against the Dolphins. So it was kind of understandable, but at the same time, you still have to get up for that game, especially against the Dolphins team that really doesn't have a leg in the race.
What about the AFC South?
Yeah,
let's discuss that because I want us to discuss AFC South quick, and I want to get your opinion. college football a little bit, especially when
Yeah,
it comes to the OU.
yeah, I will. So I'll wrap up AFC South real quick. Just to put it in general context. Uh, Tennessee 7-2. They lost Derrick Henry for a significant amount of time. He did have surgery on his foot this
Mhm.
past week. I think they're going to win outright. They're going to win the AFC South. Indianapolis, we don't really know their identity. Jacksonville has two wins more than what they've had in the last 2 seasons. Houston, we don't know what's going to happen with Deshaun Watson and his legal troubles going on, but that
Right.
team really has tanked for the year. So, but what do you want to get to about
Well,
college football?
before we do that, I briefly want to give our listening
Yeah.
audience a quick update when it comes to tomorrow's games. Tomorrow in football here in the U.S. NFL, we'll be having quite a bit of games playing tomorrow. We have the Saints and the Titans. We have Bills and the Jets tomorrow at 12 noon. All these games are playing tomorrow at 12 noon. We
Mm-hmm.
have the Lions and the Steelers. We have the Jaguars and the Colts. 12 noon, Buccaneers and Washington, the
Yeah.
Browns and the Patriots, Falcons and the Cowboys at 12 noon. Who do you think gonna win that? The Falcons and the Cowboys?
Falcons and Cowboys.
Yeah.
I saw a stat earlier this week about that
Oh,
game, and
it's not something to waste time on. The Cowboys gonna win. That's
no,
all you
I
need
know.
to
I'm
say.
just letting you know. I'm just letting you know that I saw a
Yeah.
stat
Don't
this
give
week.
me statistics. Just let
And
me know. Just make me happy.
it
Okay.
look, they have a 75%. This is their highest win rate of the season at 75%. All right, I was always going
Well,
to say they're going to win the game. That's obvious, but
okay.
that's the most interesting stat about it. 75% chance.
Good.
This is their
We're
highest
gonna
win.
raise it up. We're gonna raise the standard up for everybody else.
I
That's
mean,
it.
if you lose 2 in a row, there's going to be trouble in Cowboy land. Don't
Right.
lose.
But after that, after we have the Panthers and the Cardinals will be playing as well tomorrow, and the
Oh,
Vikings and the
Cardinals will win.
Chargers.
That's another waste. We
The
don't want to waste time on
Seahawks
that.
and the Packers will be playing as well, and then the Eagles and the Broncos, and then the last game for tomorrow will be the Chiefs and the Raiders. Well, yeah, that will be 7 p.m. That will be our evening
Mhm.
game.
Yeah.
March prime 7 prime time, March tomorrow. Um, I haven't been looking at. I've been following just on TV with OU. OU has been having a very successful game so far this year. What do you think?
Uh, let's just say, because I've watched exclusively OU and OSU. I'm an OSU grad.
Don't be biased now.
OU has played. Yes, OU has won, but they haven't had a signature win where it's in style where they've just obliterated their opponent. They had to come back against Texas. They're in a close one right now against Baylor, 7-7 last time I saw. But I mean, I think that their ranking in the college playoff ranking actually is kind of a disrespectful thing because they have one who's been put in front of them. Same with
Mhm.
Cincinnati. But OU has looked good, especially since they've switched quarterbacks.
Yeah, well, those quarterbacks, what do you think about them? They're pretty, I think they've been doing quite well.
Yeah, they've been good. I think that it's going to be them, and I think we're going to have Bedlam twice this year in football. Whoever wins in Bedlam, or whoever loses in Bedlam, I think will win the Big 12 championship in Bedlam too.
Right.
So in the Big 12 championship, so that's going to look good for the committee. I think that's going to look good towards the committee overall. I don't know. I think when November 27th rolls around for Bedlam weekend, that game's going to be the most intense that it has been in years.
Wow.
So
Ladies
that's something I'm
and
looking
gentlemen,
forward to.
yeah, we're down to the wire. We have about 5 minutes left on our show,
Mhm.
and we've been talking a lot about sports this afternoon here at Talk TV Media Network. We do discuss sports every Saturday at 12 p.m. There has been a lot going on in the sports world, especially there is still going on a lot in the sports world, especially this weekend too. And those of us who are sport fanatics in football, soccer, uh, I'm sorry we couldn't cover all the topics because I wanted us to talk a little bit on basketball, but next time we'll talk about
Oh
basketball
yeah, for sure, for sure.
and other sports as well. Um, but today we were watching Liberia being defeated by the Eagles of Nigeria 2-0, and we also wanted to hear from our listeners what is the government doing with regards to revamping the entire sports structure, the entire sports of the country to make it more vibrant and competitive to international standards. This is what we are asking our government because the current president is a beneficiary of sports. He got to the limelight to where he is today through sports. Other people invested in his life, as well as other players. So sometimes when God bless you, He's blessing you so you can sow back and give back to society. Especially when you are privileged, when you are in at that point where you can give. you know. So this is where we are. It's a sad day for Lone Star not being able to qualify for the World Cup, but we will sit and cheer our African brothers up. Those are uh, the countries that will qualify as well. And so that's that. From that end, we're able to discuss all the other games from football here, NFL. Uh, even though time is of constraint. But man, team, I love your analysis. When it
Yeah,
comes to the
yeah. I
sports,
appreciate you
man,
having me on.
I love your analysis. What's your final word, man? When it comes to um sports, what's your overall perspective
Final word
before we talk
sports.
about? We still have 3 minutes left. Let's eat the 3 minutes up.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
for me, being a competitive person myself by playing sports and all that stuff, one thing I've learned is just to have fun and just compete at your best
Right.
every single second that you're on. So that's why I think we love sports. We want to see people compete at their highest potential.
Yeah.
So I
Competing
think
at your best. I think that's it because that's what brings the game.
mhm.
What do you look at? What do you have to say with regards to NFL football and college football? Which one has more enthusiasm, more zeal?
I think NFL does only because I think
Really?
college has a lot more tradition because it's school, they're students, and so they're still finding themselves. They're adults, but they're
Bro,
not fully
I've always
realized
heard I've
adults.
always heard a lot of people say college football brings a lot because these boys want to shine though.
Yeah, they want to shine, but they're still in a prism of trying to figure it out. When you get to the NFL, I think there's a lot of enthusiasm. It's just that what gets bogged down with it is the contracts and the money. So,
Mhm.
but I still think there's a lot more enthusiasm in professional sports overall versus collegiate sports.
You are the first I've ever heard say that
Hmm.
because I've tried to watch them and I see those even the fans crazy
Yeah,
going crazy and
yeah,
stuff for college football, man.
yeah. I think people have there's an emotional connection to both, but I think people have. I can only say for myself.
Right?
I feel like I have more of a connection, more of a understanding, realization, and appreciation for professional because that's what they do for a living. So they have to
Right.
be at their peak every single every single night, every single night.
Yeah, but these guys want to do that. They want to shine and play their
Hmm.
hearts out so much so they can do that too for a living in the
That
future.
that yeah, that is true. But in college, they're in a structure, they're in a system. They're still being told what to do. They're not. They're still being developed as young adults because we have to
Right.
include women in that as well.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. That's why I love your analysis. I'll catch you next week, man. Next week Saturday, I'll catch you right here, same place, same station.
All right, let me
Uh,
know.
those of you, our listeners out there, thank you. We'd love to thank you for riding, taking this ride with us Saturday. Talk TV Media Sports. Tomorrow we will be bringing you Talk TV Media Sunday Gospel Show, and I'll be right here with you. In the midst of all of this, we stay respect God, we stay honor God as a supreme, giver of life. He's the one who enables us to do what we do. So join me tomorrow, as I bring you the gospel show, a full 1 hour gospel show. And you will be given the opportunity as well to call in, to participate, be a part. Because Talk TV Media Network is the voice for the voiceless. As I always say, we go places where others do not go. Until then, I'll catch you tomorrow. Thank you, buddy.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Confession. You gotta confess. You must stop the impression. Enjoyment. God your blessing. Enjoyment. No more stressing. Enjoyment. God your blessing. Enjoyment. No more stressing. It's never gonna be another man trash.